My name is Kutsia, and I'm here to represent Pakistan in the global reading hosted by Pamina Press and its defiant editor, Ghazal. The writers you'll hear this morning from Pakistan and its diaspora come from a nation that has stood with Palestine for over 7 decades. We understand displacement. We know the weight of borders. So we lend our voices to amplify their existence, the Palestinian resilience and humanity, because their stories must be heard, their existence must be honoured. Let our readings be a bridge between nations, between struggles, between hope and action. Hannah O'Mara is a visual artist and poet from London whose work draws deeply from her Baloch heritage and its Indigenous storytelling traditions. A graduate of Central St. Martin's, her debut pamphlet, Godhuma, The Breathing of the Earth, is dedicated to Mehergar, one of the world's oldest Neolithic civilizations in Balochistan, Pakistan. Her interdisciplinary work reclaims and gives voice to ancestral knowledge and lineage. Naima Rashid is an author, poet, and translator working between Urdu, Punjabi, French, and English. Her work has been longlisted for the National Poetry Competition and Best Small Fictions. She has published critically acclaimed translations of Ali Akbar Natik and Parveen Shakar, and her most recent poetry collection is Sum of Worlds. She conducts writing and translation workshops and is currently working on fiction and new translations. Jamal Mahmood is a writer and filmmaker based in London. His work has been featured at the Institute of Contemporary Art, Magma, BBC4, Poetry London, and Popular. He's been shortlisted for the Outspoken Prize for Poetry in Film and won the National Poetry Rivals. His latest book, The Leaf of the Neem Tree, was released in 2021. Jamal is currently a staff writer at Mufta magazine. Malia Heather is a London-based bilingual poet, translator, and creative producer. Salman Haider is a poet, playwright, and satirist from Pakistan, currently living in exile in Canada. He holds a PhD in psychology and has been a postdoctoral fellow and artist in residence at the University of Toronto. He wrote satirical commentaries for Dawn Urdu and plays for Theatre Wale that was staged in Pakistan and the USA. His first poetry book was published in 2021, and he is a member of Writers in Exile Canada. Muniba Mahmood is a writer, poet, and performer whose work explores identity, spirituality, and social justice. Through Rawani, she has spent 5 years collaborating with artists and cultural organizations, resulting in publications, events, a podcast, and a collaborative poetic play. Her practice centers on making the arts more accessible, authentic, and representative. Hiba Amar, who writes as Hiba Heba, is a Pushcart-nominated Pakistani poet pursuing an MA in English and American literature in the UK as a Commonwealth Shared Scholar. Her debut collection, Birth of a Mural, was named one of the best-loved books of 2023 by the News Sunday. Her work has appeared in Pamina Press, Poetry Wales, and Fragmented Voices, among others. Before we hear from the poets, I want to begin with 2 poems that speak to this moment, to what it costs to witness atrocity, and to the question of what we do with that knowledge. The disasters numb within us, caught in the chest, rolling in the brain like pebbles. The feeling resembles lumps of raw dough weighing down a child's stomach on baking day. Rilke said it. My heart, could I say of it, it overflows with bitterness, but no, as though its contents were simply balled into formless lumps, thus do I carry it about. The same war continues. We have breathed the grits of it in all our lives. Our lungs are pocked with it, the mucous membrane of our dreams coated with it, the imagination filmed over with the grey filth of it. The knowledge that humankind, delicate man, whose flesh responds to a caress, whose eyes are flowers that perceive the stars, whose music excels the music of birds, whose laughter matches the laughter of dogs, whose understanding manifests designs fairer than the spider's most intricate web, still turns, without surprise, with mere regret, to the scheduled breaking open of breasts, whose milk runs out over the entrails of still alive babies, transformation of witnessing eyes to pulp fragments, implosion of skinned penises in carcass gullies. We are the humans, men who can make, whose language imagines mercy, loving kindness. We have believed one another, mirrored forms of a God we felt as good, who do these acts, who convince ourselves it's necessary. These acts are done to our own flesh. Burned human flesh is smelling in Vietnam, in Palestine, in Sudan, in Kashmir, in Congo, as I write, as I speak. Yes, this is a knowledge that jostles for space in our bodies, along with all we go on knowing of joy, of love. Our nerve filaments twitch with its presence day and night. Nothing we say has not the husky phlegm of it in the saying. Nothing we do has the quickness, the sureness, the deep intelligence living at peace would have. That's Denise Levertov, Life at War, written during the Vietnam War. And now a poem by Faiz Ahmed Faiz, who asks us directly, you tell us what to do. When we launched life on the river of grief, how vital were our arms, how ruby our blood. With a few strokes, it seemed, we would cross all pain, we would soon disembark. That didn't happen. In the stillness of each wave, we found invisible currents. The boatmen too were unskilled, their oars untested. Investigate the matter as you will, blame whomever as much as you want, but the river hasn't changed, the raft is still the same. Now you suggest what's to be done, you tell us how to come ashore. When we saw the wounds of our country appear on our skins, we believed each word of the healers. Besides, we remembered so many cures, it seemed, at any moment, all troubles would end, each wound heal completely. That didn't happen. Our ailments were so many, so deep within us, that all diagnoses proved false, each remedy useless. Now do whatever, follow each clue, accuse whomever as much as you will. Our bodies are still the same, our wounds still open. Now tell us what we should do. You tell us how to heal these wounds.
Thank you, Kutsia, for those beautiful readings. I'm going to start with a poem called The Solidarity of Crows on a London Platform. The crow's perch, alloy carbon steel is zinc, 6:55 a.m. on September in 2024. Commuter daylight platforms, I am a commuter, I do not speak. The crows look at depths, glass-reinforced tip heads peering into a London platform, precast concrete trenches of City Line, Turbo Class, Electrostar. The crows look at each other standing on the platform edge, look inside black ebony of the other. Electromagnetic induction, look there, someone does not fly. The crows open, they close their wings in unison, a mirror to each other. I am that other, I do not speak. My dear, my darling, Jan, I am told not to speak. Do bombs speak? Do the sound of bombs speak? A sound of Habibi. Displaced, do not speak. Upside down, do not speak. The crows on a platform edge, solid cement, gravelled silica, circumvent. The crows open and close their wings, fly to electric depths. I am told not to speak. Habibi, I am told not to speak of that depth, aggregate of crushed stone. Darling, I am told not to. Pray in words, not to say. Stay words, pray words. What is the sound of the prayless? The sound of whistling fire, the sound of sound in rubble, the sound of rubble in rubble, Habibi, the crows fly, hover over the train platform, electric depth, in each of their beaks, I am told. What is the sound of paradise? What is the sound of a sound in paradise? A minaret stands, I am told not to. The minaret stands in rubble, on legs are bodies praying on rubble. I am told not to. Cast cracks in rubble. The crows hover above the electric platform depths. The crows carry in their beaks, each a wing. Minutes before the train slides electric to that platform, that wing, Habibi, that wing in my throat. Not a wing, in our throats. Wings in rubble. The crows carry a wing in each beak, the body of a life, not able to speak, carry a pigeon not able to seek wings. They carry the pigeon to the opposite platform, its wings in their beaks, as is my witness, is the truth and the light of day, I am told, hear sounds of. Tears do not speak, Habibi, are the occupied told not to speak? Are the powerful told not to speak? Where do the dead go to speak? And the young who are told not to speak? The crows speak as speechless speak, carrying the body of a pigeon to peace. On either side of the platform, looking at me, this is the truth. Looking at me, their beaks open and close, no sound. Wings opening, closing and standing still, with no sound, no speech. Wings opening, Habibi, we speak. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Kutsia and Hannah. The first poem I'm reading today is a translation of a poem by Praveen Shakir, originally written in the Urdu. It was called Yasir Arafat Ke Liye Ek Nazm, and this is my translation that I'm reading. A poem for Yasir Arafat. That patch of sky which we see from our windows, how beautiful it is. This window full of dominion over life, what sovereignty it holds within itself. Who will know it better than you, who did not have a roof over his head all life long, who always stopped the rain with his bare hands and never borrowed a scrap of wall for shade in the sun? In snows, you kept a single lamp aglow inside your heart. And what a heart! When it loved somebody once, never looked another way, made a promise to the soil and forsook the blessings of fire, water, and air. For the sake of a solitary dream, mortgaged a lifetime's worth of sleep. A promise made to the nation and his own life forgot. Set out in quest of his nation's land and forgot the dwelling of his heart's expanse. That noble forgetting is dearer than the treasures of all the world's memories combined. Before such homelessness, such endearing modesty, the possessions of the entire universe are worthless. The blue canopy of the sky itself is muddy. The second poem is one from my own collection, Sum of Worlds, and it talks about the responsibility of witnessing the atrocity and the risk that we all run of being desensitized or numbing ourselves simply to process the violence that we see on our screens. Life's a soap on my television screen. As I watch my city bleed on the television screen, from my three-seater couch, I feel a new age, digital-like sorrow, lukewarm, enough to flatter the conscience but not to trouble the mind, enough to tug at the heartstrings, but not to cause any pain. The balancing is tricky, so I keep the vista of my vision cluttered with distractions and playthings. Coke cans and ketchup, pizza and pearls, souvenirs from blindfolded travels, Eiffel Towers and plaster of Paris, Chinese vases made in Taiwan. I hop from black to white, obliterate the grey. I appropriate the knowledge according to my mood. A bit of bloodshed, a bit of jazz, some song and dance, some war and peace. One way it gets too much, too dark, for a sunshine bloke like me. The world's a stage and life's a soap on my television screen. The drama folds and unfolds, and all I do is behold, while my conscience is doped. It's a vaudeville with human puppets, a little crude at times. I can handle it pretty well, though. I just need my shot. Between murders and musicals, zapping in and out at will. Thank you.
Thank you, Qudsiya, for that introduction, and for Hannah and Naima for the poems that you shared. I'm going to share two poems with you. The first is called A Love Letter to the Rubble. You of brick and mortar shells, house of everything fallen, heavy is the head, buried is the crown. You stripped of the unseen, letter by letter, inch by slow inch, overnight and day. You of limestone and granite, sight of patchwork before technicolor, strong bones under scorched earth, you, soil worth falling for. In love and in death you cradle a martyr, honored by the fallen, you, left to memory and coarse skin, a million rose petals veiled, we, unworthy, didn't act like kin. You, a gorgeous prism, I won't let them call you dirt. The next poem is called If the Flags Vanish, What Would I Do With You? Probably kiss your forehead for fighting for me. Shed a real tear or three, wish you peace, that's all I could manage. I can't think straight because the flags are gone. They took my life and handed me a flag, a gang sign I couldn't contort my fingers to make. If the flags vanish, what would I do with you? Probably stand foot to foot and shoulder to shoulder. Distribute sweets like I've never distributed sweets before. You get a sweet, you get a sweet, you get three. I'm feeling generous because the flags are gone. Pleasure to meet you, pleasure to greet you, enchanted, enchanté. You've ennobled me with your presence, 1,000 times peace, meet salame, 1,000 times you are my family, meet ahlen. This is what it feels like when a limb meets a limb. Thank you.
शहर खाली करने का हुक्म। मैं हूं सलमान हैदर और जो नज्म मैं आज आपको सुनाने जा रहा हूं उसका उन्वान है शहर खाली करने का हुक्म। सीटियां बजाते हुए जहाजों ने दीवारों के सर से छतों की चादर छीन ली। मकान सर खुले बाजारों में निकल आने वाली हवास बाख्ता औरतों की तरह दिखाई देने लगे। मौत उनके बेटों को बिस्तरों की गोद से उचक ले गई थी। बाजारों का सन्नाटा सायरन की तरह चीखता था। शहर के कोने खुदरों में बच जाने वालों को खबर हो, जिंदगी कोहनियों के बल घिसट कर खंदकों तक जा सकती है। जमीन को हुक्म दिया जाता है बच्चों को गोद में ले ले, वरना मौत रहम खाकर उन्हें हिजरत की खुली जेल में डाल दे। सरहदें बंद कर दी गई हैं, उन पर कल के वादे का पहरा है। शहर पर आज दोपहर से वहशत की हुकूमत होगी। कल और आज के बीच आप हमेशा के इंतजार की पनाह में रहेंगे। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Hello, everyone, and Assalamu alaikum. As the world burns and as Palestine continues to suffer, the poem I'm going to share today is a reflection on divine mercy. It is an attempt and a reminder to cling on to hope and to continue to speak up, even as voices are silenced, for truth will prevail. Where is the world? A crack in silence, in the brokenness of many walls that we have built, pummeled, amidst invasions, victories, as fear rotates in a vision of sordid reality. Where crimson blood is thickly spilled across remains of life that has swept as skulls of angry fires orange, monsters swallow green, going around the bend, fallen branches, cracked, parched ravines where once flowed rivers. Not as tall as mountains, our thirst unquenched by the seas, a scrap of redemption is all we each seek. Mercy, a test. As we give, we receive. Survives the dim blot in the immense universe where fragile life yet breathes, eats microplastics, children, greed, starves the leftover oxygen of the last remaining trees. Each step a footprint in soft sand, though the next wave washes clear. Branches emit our silence words through skies to one who hears. In the darkness, a light that sight cannot perceive. In the encircling orb, a small lamp casts a ray through a crevice that splits through hearts as screams of pain cut deep across dry earth. Agony, then a quiver of knowing, a beam, the sweeping through of encompassing light. Repentance is allowed time to revert. Gleaming stars a guide, glimpsed by Musa, from Pharaoh concealed. Reason sees as the soul perceives his generous, infinite mercy. And as I end, I will quote the late Pakistani poet Habib Jalib, who wrote these words in solidarity with Palestine. E arz Palestine, mein bhi hazir hoon. O land of Palestine, I too present myself. I too am here. Thank you.
Malia, you're muted at the moment.
Oh, hi. Thank you, Qudsiya. Thank you, everyone. I'll start with this three-line poem, Tercet. ए तमाम खुदाओं के माबूद, तेरी फूकी हुई रूह अब बारूद बन चुकी है. I'll read my next poem. It's also in Urdu. ये जहदे मुसलसल नहीं है तो क्या है? ये जहदे मुसलसल नहीं है तो क्या है? रोज आंखों को सुर्ख कर लेना, क्योंकि सुर्खों की कमी से दुनिया बहुत शर्मिंदा है इंसानों से, मुफलिसों, बेयारों मददगारों से. ये जहदे मुसलसल नहीं है तो क्या है? रोज मगरिब के पहर अपने फटे कुर्ते को शीरखारों की तरह चिमटाना, उसको कहना कि अभी और उसे चल चल कर सुर्ख करना है दिल मुस्तर को, उसको कहना कि कोई बात नहीं चाक गरिबा होना, उसको कहना कि ज़माने के लगाए हुए बेहुदा दाग कीमती ज़र हैं अगली दहाई के लिए, उसको कहना कि बटन टूट गए हैं तो क्या, ये तो मश्क है जदीद फनाराइश की. उसकी पिघली हुई अकड़न को इज़राह तकल्लुफ़ पे कलफ मत देना, उससे उठती हुई बदबू को ख़त्म मत करना, उसके उलझे हुए धागों को ना सुलझाए कोई, इसको ऐसे ही गरीबी के लबों से तन्हा चूसना है ज़िंदगी. इस इंसान के हिस्से में है लाखों का कफन, इसके पेचीदा हवादिस में करोड़ों रूहें अपना घर ढूंढती हैं, इसके सीने में धड़कते हैं कईयों के दिल, इसकी आंखों में है ख्वाबों की थकन सदियों की. ये जहदे मुसलसल नहीं है तो क्या है? ये जहदें मुसलसल नहीं है तो क्या है? थैंक यू।
Thank you, Maliha. I'll be reading 2 poems by Hibabu Nada. We share the same name. She was a Palestinian poet and educator. Her novel was an award-winning novel called Oxygen is Not for the Dead. On October 20th, 2023, she was killed in her home in the Gaza Strip by an Israeli airstrike. The 2 poems that I'll be reading of her are translated by Huda Fakhruddin. Not just passing. Yesterday, a star said to the little light in my heart, "We are not just transients passing. Do not die beneath this glow, some wanderers go on walking. You were first created out of love, so carry nothing but love to those who are trembling. One day, all gardens sprouted from our names, from what remained of heart's yearning. And since it came of age, this ancient language has taught us how to heal others with our longing, how to be a heavenly scent to relax their tightening lungs, a welcome sigh, a gasp of oxygen. Softly we pass over wounds like purposeful gauze, a hint of relief and aspirin. Oh, little light in me, don't die. Even if all the galaxies of the world close in, oh, little light in me, say, enter my heart in peace. All of you, come in. The next poem is Seven Skies for the Homeland. In our lungs is a homeland, and on our breath an exile, a homeland that rushes in our veins as our footsteps edge toward it. It grows in the groves of sorrow, a vine of strangers glances like tears hanging. It gifted us its tune and gave up all the singing. Can we deny it? Can it deny us? When it is our blood and we have mastered the bleeding. In our books, hunger and bread are synonyms, light and darkness, all broken shards. I have learned to find hope in the extremes of love and rain clouds in the desert of rhymes. It's a homeland that returns to us naked but knows how to wrap us around it like robes. In our blood, it hides seas and launches ships with our heart throbs. It tucks its sidewalks in our pillows and its cities in our dreams. Will it slumber in us for eternity and continue to invent time again and again? Like those olive trees that stand as strangers, their color and taste alien, there is no room for us in this universe. Like a narrow corridor, it closes in. It's as if we were scandals, our longing a crime, and the love of our country a sin. Thank you.